Jesus of Nazareth. Whew.
Jesus.
Hello, how
Hi,
are you,
Jesus.
Mary? Hello, how
Uh,
are you, Joe?
oh, fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It is
We
good to
just
see you.
wanted to say happy birthday
Happy birthday.
Thank you very
because
much.
I
I
have decided that your birthday is April 14th tomorrow, so we came to say happy birthday and also wanted to send happy birthday from your mother. And Diane Mayburn asked me to send that to you. She said she loves you very much and wanted to say happy birthday.
Oh, I stopped celebrating after I was 29,999,999. So, I never wanted to reach 30 million. But it's all right.
I thought we were 20 trillion years old.
Yes, I know, but I stopped counting birthdays after that year. So,
Oh. I see. Anyway, it's important to us that you were born.
thank you. And it was important that we were all born. Yes.
Yeah.
We all had a role to play, and we all had our part. And that
And
is the important thing. Some
and I
people may never, some people, until they get to the Oversoul, may never understand all the different things that happen in the cosmos, in the universe, and who happen to us when we were alive on Earth, or happened the significance of the and the beauty of all the things that happened when we were alive. And God may not ever get to share personally with every soul in the universe who He is, but we will all know about Him uh, once we get to the Oversoul, and we will know the history of all the different planets and the history of how God came to know His feminine side, His masculine side, and all the other sides that He has.
so you're telling me it's not so important that they know this yet. They will know it in the future.
They all obviously will, yes. Because
And,
people have their own belief systems here that have been affected for billions of years. I mean, around the universe, many people have belief systems that are even different than the ones that are here. But they will find out that God is the father of all these beliefs. Because they see Him differently does not mean He does not exist in many different ways. And He
do you
does.
do you think that our experience, the experience you and I gave to God as creators, um, you told me that God used those experiences to learn about Himself as Mother God, and so He uses our soul for these experiences. But many people on Earth believe that God uses every soul on earth as the experience that God learns from. Is that true, or does God only learn from created beings?
Let me put it this way. When God creates humans, He puts a part of Himself in there, yes, but it's only a fragment. It, he has fragments of Himself everywhere in the universe, which gives you, as a human, well, you're a creator being, but as a human, it makes you part of God as well. And He gives you a little piece of all that creativity as well. So He is actually giving you knowledge of who He is, giving
He's
you
not.
understanding of who He is, so that you, as you grow, can experience your personality for and as you want it to be in God, so that He can express Himself with you. Not He's not learning from you with that experience. He is teaching you more than He is learning from you. The experiences of learning He has had to made very specific. And You were one of the beings. You were a creator being from billions, trillions of years, and you've been to many planets to help them, to help God understand many millions of species.
Thank you. That was another piece of incorrect information that was given out by Ramtha, that God learns from the souls of everyone on earth.
No,
That,
humans learn from the soul God gave them. Of course, he can come down and learn from a specific person if he wants to. And he can look down and learn if he wants to. But the reason he gave you part of himself is for you to know who he is in some way. To to expand your creation in some way. To make use of God in some way. He already knows who his people are now. He knows
and
all about his people, what they can do, what they cannot do. He's seen them over the millions of years. He does not need to learn any more from people because they are very similar one to another in many ways. But he
what,
does want you to learn about him.
what about me? Is God learning anything from me, like when we were together, he was learning from
You were
my
only in the you were only a creator on earth once. And so he wants you to learn about him in this particular life, and you have. But he also can come to you and learn about what who you are as well and why you are the way you are. Yes, absolutely. It can be definitely an exchange, but he does not have to do it that way. He can he can just give himself to everyone and have them use that part of him to build a life of beauty, creativity, uniqueness, love, desires, whatever. Because now, you see, now that he knows about how humanity is, he can help them learn who he is.
um,
Does that make
th-
sense to you?
well, this question just arises in my mind every day: is if maybe there are things that I'm learning in this lifetime that maybe God could learn more about.
When you go back to the creator realm, why don't you have a talk with him and see?
Well, that's how it works. We have our talk then, not now.
Yes. Yes,
Ah,
you have your missions now. He has much to do now. But when he has your talk with the creator beings one on one, oh, he will learn a great deal about the different lives they've lived and who they are in those lives. Well, he knows who they are in their lives, but he will learn what you've done, and he already knows what you've done. But perhaps you can give him some nuance to all that learning.
so this would be why it's important for me to be writing books and keeping records. So when I go back, we talk about all of these things. So
Remember, dear, the Akashic record records every second. So you don't have to do a thing. It's already recorded. However, for this planet to remember, yes.
but see, this is why I keep wondering if anything I write for to leave on this planet will make any difference.
Yes, it will.
Because
Let me tell you why. Many people from around the universe read different things that are written all throughout the galaxies and the universes. The reason why they read these things is for a perspective on that particular kind of life, that particular kind of existence, and how they perceive their world around them, and how they expand out of it or implode into it. And it is infinite amount of knowledge for them to gain from each individual. And when you write your books and when you explain how you're feeling and put your information on the page, it becomes noteworthy because it becomes history. And the Akashic records will include every word in the book as well as every moment of your life.
So, how does it work? I was speaking to one of the Jesuses that told me that we did not have any children. So I wrote a book by Mary Magdalene that said Jesus and Mary did not have any children. So that book was already read throughout the universe. But now I'm going to write another book that said Jesus and Mary did have a child, and then
Well,
that is
they
throughout the
will put
universe.
that in time perspective. As you move through your life, you learn things of importance. And at that time, it was important for you to record that because that was the limitation of your knowledge at that time. And now they will see that your knowledge has expanded and it has grown. And the Akashic records will put that in. Yes. Every word that you have written, every thought that you think, every second that you are alive in the universe, you are being recorded.
I understand
And
that.
so you bring to the Akashic records your growth and your expansion. There is nothing wrong with that at all. To
And
be
so,
wrong at one time is not a failure. To be wrong at one time is common, is normal, is absolutely perfect. Because you have to be wrong in order to become right.
so there is no reason for me to destroy books that have wrong information. That should just stay out there along
Yes,
with just
let me
goes
tell
on.
you this. Destruction is that. The Akashic records will say you destroyed it. What is that saying? That you have a destructive part of your personality. Do not want you don't want the Akashic records to record that. You want them to see the expansion, the growth, and the knowledge that was gained, and the creativity that you now have, and the movement forward that you did. To destroy is only to take things in reverse.
Thank you. Thank you for that wisdom before I made a big mistake.
Yes, you do not want to destroy things.
That's only a third dimensional way of looking at things that you don't want mistakes out there.
The thing
That's
is, you can write in your new book, I have amended the truth because now the truth is here.
that was the answer I was looking for. Um,
Wonderful.
last night, oh,
Oh, your
la-
visitation with the aliens.
yes, but before that, last time we spoke, you said that you would look closer at my brain, and I know that the Yells have been working on my brains a lot lately, and I can feel them working a lot behind my ears. So it's either the hippocampus or hypothalamus or amygdala, something back there they're doing. But
Well,
and then these two
you
days feel like they're drilling a hole through my head and it's
they're
going through.
doing several different things. I could use some technical words, but you wouldn't understand what I was saying because you do not know the brain inside out. But the lures are being worked on. The p- per, parietal lobe, yes, the
Mhm.
parietal lobe, and different things. So
So there was a problem that can be fixed.
yes, who do you think sent them to the?
You did find a problem. There
Yes, there
is a
was
problem.
some, but it doesn't matter anymore. Really, you're completely mad. No, I'm just teasing. But anyway, no, you're. Ah, I said that to be funny, but
That was
there was some problems, but they will correct some of them. But what's the point? I told them to just do what they need to do because you are not your job is finished and it's not really very important to have it fixed now. All the things that needed to be done are done, and all you have a couple more things to do, but you won't need that much brain power for them.
Well, whatever they did helped me see my dreams better than ever before. Last night I could see myself being taken up to a spaceship and meeting with the ones that were arriving and
Absolutely. I
talking
did
to
want
me.
them to do that, yes.
And I could just really, I felt like the spaceship had landed on my bed and that we were together and it was right there and I could see them. So it was great, wonderful.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad they
But
helped
I
you
don't
with
think,
that because I did tell them to do what they could within reason, but there's a couple things that have been damaged since youth that they cannot fix because some of the nerve endings are dead. So it's all right. They don't need to fix that now. They would have to take you to the ship.
I thought they did take me to the ship. That's why I thought I was on a
Yes, but
spaceship.
they didn't put you on the operating table though.
They can. They have my permission.
All
They can
right.
drill holes in my head. They can do anything they want to
All
do.
right. They're since they are there all the time right now, so they'll hear you whatever you say.
Yeah, I want it all. I mean, this has been really painful. It's like it's a drill going right through the top of my head, but I just say, bring it on. Give me the pain. I want it. Do it, please.
Well, there will be no pain. They are much more advanced than that.
Oh, it's very painful. It
Oh,
really
they were
is.
painful?
For the last 3 days, it feels like there's an actual drill going right to the top
Oh,
of
well,
my
I have to
head.
tell them not to be so harsh. They don't need to be that harsh, I don't think.
Maybe I need a hole drilled through my
Okay,
head.
well, I do not know what they're exactly doing, but they are working.
Doesn't that make the seventh seal pop faster?
Well, I do not know if it works that way.
I have to drill a hole through my
I
head.
do not think the drilling will cause the seal to break.
Um, but I don't think I got the name right because what I heard was Avalon, and I'm pretty sure that's from a TV show.
Yes. What did you mean Avalon is the name of what?
I thought that the spaceship that I was inviting to Earth last
Oh,
night, I thought the name was Avalon, but I don't think that was right.
no, that's not correct. You're correct that that was not correct. The name of they call the ship Avul,
Oh,
but
it was
Avul, Avula.
close.
Avula.
That's very close to Avalon. Avula. I
Yes,
was hearing I was hearing a little.
yes,
I was
it was
hearing.
It's Avula, and the
Oh,
person that you spoke mostly to was Genji.
Wonderful.
I didn't hear that name, but I heard something like a.
Genji, Genji, Genge.
And what race line is that?
I Let me see who you were talking to. I think you were talking to Arcturians.
Oh,
It seems
oh,
that they're most prevalent in
uh,
your area.
that's why I would admit Zacturian and Avalon and well, that's why it would get mixed up. I get it.
Okay, good.
That was close. That's the best I've done so far.
Well, and you
I
said
could,
you remembered it quite clearly, so
that was the best I've done. So the
yes,
work that Ariel did was very helpful. Very.
yes. So you will
Um,
remember that now, the Avula.
like that.
Avul. Actually, they don't want the A at the end. Avul. It's just Avul. Okay. I'm sorry. I have to pronounce it correctly.
Well, thank you. Are we getting any less dense?
Um, of course,
Okay.
in the insides of you are definitely, but you still have a lot of third dimensional connections. So you're keeping connections to the earth. Uh, in order for you to actually disappear, you would have to be by yourself for a while. But or when you feel that time is coming, you will have to be alone for a few days, and then because you don't know distractions. The distractions will keep you from it.
So if we just totally shut ourselves off, even for a few days, we could do it. It's just this continuously wanting to go out.
Well,
And,
you're not quite ready yet, but yeah, give it some time. But you will know, you will feel when you're ready. You'll feel it.
Originally, your life is said between 18 to 24 months.
Yes,
Are
that's
we
more and more like it for you. Yes,
in Joe?
I'm not. I think his a little earlier.
But we can arrange to go together if we want to.
Well, unless he becomes more third dimensional. He's
Or
actually less third dimensional sometimes. He goes off into he rests more and goes off into fourth dimension more. So
right, that's what I need to do. I'm practicing taking more sleeping pills like he does.
is
Okay.
that what you do, Joe? Did not know.
He
Okay.
does. He takes them by the handful.
Melatonin.
Oh,
Melatonins.
melatonins. That's not a sleeping pill. That's more of a natural chemical. Yes. I was going to
They
say I didn't think you would take sleeping pills. Melatonin.
No, I
Yes.
don't.
That's more of
Yeah,
a natural sleep aid.
So that's what I'm doing now. I think that's what I need to do. Get me
Yes,
more
you
like.
need natural sleep aids to help you relax and stay away from too much stress and don't pay attention to. You should never read comments or never read anything negative about anything that you've said or done or anything like that. People are cruel and people are don't understand exactly what angles or perceptions you're coming from. They were taught many different things. There are so many beliefs out there and so many different angles on how to look at the truth that they cannot possibly be their unconditional love just does not show through. And so be unconditionally loving as well. Do not write back anything negative. Do not try to defend yourself with a negative response or defense because it's not worth it. You see?
Yes.
And I'm worried that that's what might be what my book is. I should really make sure my book does not contain any
Yes,
like.
it should be a positive jaunt into the enlightenment of minds. It should not have any negativity in it.
Not talk about the struggles I went through to get
Well,
to where I am.
if it resolves itself in a very positive way, yes, you can mention struggles. Everybody's life, autobiography, biography, whatever, will have struggles of life in it and stuff that resolve in a beautiful way, hopefully, and which it did. So you can put that in so that people can learn that these things can resolve. So that's actually positive. You can show people how to resolve their negativity, and that's a positive thing.
You're going to leave me in a what is it? 1, 7:30, 12:30. Do we have any time left?
Well,
No, it's one. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, we have time left.
you
I
have
thought you were
you have over a half an hour left.
good. I thought you were going to leave me in a minute, and I was getting scared. You're not leaving me. Okay.
Not for 30 some minutes.
Okay, great, wonderful. That's what we got. Um, Tim Deutsch, we talked about him, and you talked.
Yes, I loved him. He's wonderful.
He is wonderful. I just wanted to ask you who he is that he's so special to me.
Let me go. I love him. I'm not sure that he was anybody special to the world, but to you, yes, you were in past lives with him. So there, but not on this planet, in other places.
But there's some reason why I showed up in his bedroom in the
Yes,
hospital.
because you wanted to show him that healing was possible.
That's the only reason.
Well,
Just-
because when he recovers, if his belief system is strong enough to believe he will recover, and he can recover. His story will include you. His story of victory over this particular malady, which is severe, will include this beautiful Mary Magdalene sighting and getting to know you and how miracles are possible.
So we're writing a story together because we talk continuously.
Yes.
I see. And his main interest now is to turn into light.
And if he
That's his
turns
plan.
into light before he is healed, that is wonderful, but I do not see that happening.
Okay.
He's
He's
too
just
connected to his wife, and there's too much third dimensional contact.
he plans not to because of that, but he's learning how, which is just learning how is going to help him heal.
Turning into light at this stage of the game is very difficult. You must really work at it, and then when you feel it coming on, you must get alone and have no distractions.
But see, he's helping me turn into light by teaching him, which is reminding me of all the things I need to do that I'm not doing. That's what's significant about Tim. He's really pushing me and asking me and making me go through all this stuff and writing a book of how you do it. And
some
and
people
that,
feel in this day and age that it is impossible to turn into light. That is not true. Many have turned into light on your planet before. Some yogis, some Buddhas, some Jesus did, many others. When I was back there, I turned into light on top of the mount there.
yes, it has to do with the physics of the earth changing and tuning
Right,
into.
but you have to know. You just have to know what to do. That's all. And those that have turned to light, for the most part, have been alone. And there's no seeing them anymore. And they wonder where they went. Like some of the great masters of the Tibetan monks. They disappeared. Where did they go? They learned to levitate. They learned to become part of that's where your density starts really letting go, is when you can levitate and move into the air because your density is so light. And then after that, you can disappear.
So I think I'm incorrect about something. I thought that we wouldn't be able to levitate until we were actually in the density of the fourth dimension. But we can levitate on our way to getting there.
Yes, you can levitate like many do now. There are many that levitate on your planet. But their density is much lighter. And so they move off the earth toward heaven.
So we can do that in this dimension.
Yes, you can. That is a truth. That is a truth. Yes.
No, I thought maybe those people were in the fourth dimension that we were in.
Oh, no. They have to, their dimension has to become lighter.
So I have a lot of work to do, but I know how to do it. I just need to work at it. And that's what is nice about Tim, is he's making me write the...
Tim is a dear man and very sincere, yes.
And you said that we had done something together in past lives?
Yes, but not on Earth. Interesting enough, you were not on Earth when you were in past lives. This is the first life that you've known each other on Earth, but it was meant to be that you knew each other on this life.
But he wasn't a creator being, he was just someone very special.
Not. He was someone special, though, but he was not a creator being.
Oh. I know we talked before about you think that the Jesus on earth, you will come into the person that is Jesus on earth in about 1 year, and
all the aspects will come into him, yes.
So the way that you are to this person that I don't know on earth is Jesus, there must be a me that is like you. There's a Mary Magdalene that's going to come into me like you're going to come into
Or
him.
you're going to move into the creator realm, so she does not have to come to you. You will go to her. You are going to her.
That's was what I haven't been able to figure out.
You
Okay,
are going to
that's
her. You are going up to the the creator world.
so I am the only one that does it that way.
Yeah. Well,
You're
no.
did the
A lot
Jesus
have to
do?
do it. Jesus will is here for a reason. You came into all of your beings. All the Marys are with you. There's no aspects of Mary out there. You are Mary. When Jesus starts to speak, all the aspects of Jesus will be with him. There will be no aspects out there. And then when he leaves, he will go out up to Creator. When you leave, you go to Creator.
So the Jesus on earth is not complete like I am complete.
Not yet, but
Different.
he will be.
Okay. And Elijah, I didn't realize that Elijah is really separate from Jim Charles. So that
It is his higher self, yes. But
so
he,
who's
the
that?
thing is, he had a different higher self before, and Elijah chose him to come to him.
And so will Elijah be becoming one with James Charles, like you're becoming one with the Jesus Christ?
Yes, he will become one with him after a while, but they are not have not done that yet.
Oh,
But
but
he
they
is
will.
with him as a higher self at this time. But they have not
So,
become one person.
so he will not always be channeling his higher self. He
Correct.
will become
Correct.
Elijah. But you don't know when.
That I do know when, but I cannot say.
I see. I was just wondering how all that this
This
works.
it is a matter of, well, there's several things that have to happen, but I cannot go into that with you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Um, yeah, I was just surprised. I've
No,
been trying to figure out how this transposition from Elijah telling the world about Jesus coming and Jesus coming. And so I just finished talking to Elijah about their plan of doing the workshops and stuff. And it's just, it's kind of startling or unnerving to me somehow.
everything is unnerving at some point. Let
How,
me tell you
because
something. Before someone can believe anything, they'd have to doubt it first. In many ways. Many things that you first came across and went, you had to really think about it before you didn't just automatically go, yeah, that's it, that's the truth. You had to think about it, you had to study it a little bit. That is the way you knew it was the truth. It became resonant with you. But it may have resonated at first, but you still didn't go, oh, I believe that right away. You might have said you did, but it did not go into you until you really believed it. Something had to made you believe it. Something had to bring it into your belief system. So experience or someone that you very much trusted would say something, or something had to make you believe it. You just didn't hop into your mind. But many things that happened, you saw they did not believe in me when I was there. They crucified me because many did not believe. Some did, most did not. But then what happened with that negative action came many positive things, because a great positive action came afterwards with the resurrection and the forgiveness of all those that were evil, always. So all things have been forgiven because of that, because they did not believe, and because I suffered, and because I gave something in return. and
Yeah.
God gave something in return.
And I think what is bothering me though is that the same thing I was just talking to Elijah about, that I was just expecting so much more because that's something I've been wanting to talk to you about.
There is
Um,
more.
your sister Miriam, your sister Miriam, who came to Earth as Anne Hayes, she calls
Oh,
herself
yes.
Asha Beyond now. Well, she has been doing this teaching on Earth for about 10 years now called Columbic Science, Cathartic Healing, and it's very big. It was telling everybody how to turn into light and open these portals and maybe become cosmic and that you're a creator and all these great things. And I always thought that there was going to be like a path like that leading to Jesus,
But
not just
yes, well, the thing is, don't get
travel.
caught up in all that fun mysticism. That's beautiful, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's fun to picture, but the average everyday person cannot get it. They just can't get it, and we have to deal with them. We have to get them to ascension level, and they will
Yeah,
get there.
yeah, that's what I'm having a hard time dealing with, is because I feel like this is the same thing we did 100 years ago, trying to
Exactly. But
Christians that there's a God and
but you
stuff.
see, that's you have to start at square one sometimes in order to build a building. You cannot build it from halfway up. You see, you're into the complexities, the beauty, the healing, and all that. That's up here. But we have to start on the ground floor, have a base, and build the building. We cannot start in the air because that's not the way that humanity is. They will not believe in a building that you start halfway up. If you start the ground floor and call it floor 15, they're going to go, pa. That's floor 1.
So we have 20 years to teach people that there is a God and that they're going to turn into light and that there is a fourth dimension
That's
and that
why it
they're going
has
to
to
become
start. That's why it has to start. Look out at humanity. How many people don't believe in anything whatsoever?
9 billion.
We have a big job to do.
Yes.
And you have to start with where their mind at is at no belief whatsoever. So you don't start up here with the mysticism. They're going to go, ah, don't believe in that. That don't exist. That's nah.
The thing
So
is, from my point of view, where I'm at, when I'm talking to people, everybody out there thinks they know way, way more than me. They think I'm nothing. And now that I started telling people we're going to the fourth dimension, when they're telling everybody they're going to the fifth dimension, the eighth dimension, the 12th dimension, they think I'm just a dummy. I've done nothing.
don't
It's
worry
really it's
about it.
difficult with what's going on out there, and
And
then
that's
saying
why,
like,
you see,
ground.
all those people out there that are way up here, they're also going to come crashing down because they have to learn the basics first.
Because it's all a lie. They haven't
Yes.
learned anything
Joe understands that completely. He's definitely understanding everything I say.
right. But
Even
I
while
do
you're sleeping.
resonate.
Even while you're sleeping. No, but
It's true. It's
he
true.
but
You know, this is true. It's true because we were watching an animation that he created in the year 2000 that completely demonstrated his understanding of how a person turns into light, and he made that in the year 2000. So it's always been in him, and it was perfect. He totally understood how to do it.
exactly.
Amazing.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
Joe
Oh, that's a
understands more than you think.
question
But
about
we see,
Joe.
the thing is, when I speak, Joe understands spiritual concept in a way that few people do. Because you know the basics of it as well as the great high loftiness of it. And you must know You must understand that what we're going to do is go back to the basics, because that's what we have to do to capture all people with the ascension, and then bring them up to where you are in your creator being status. That's the problem with you creator beings. You're way up here. So, um, but no, I as a creator being understand what God is saying, and He's saying we must go to and start over, because they lost track of who I am. They lost track of what's going on. They lost track of what is happening in this great ascension period, and so we have to go back and gather them up.
Right.
So the people that studied this turning into light through Oceana Dion are not doing it correctly, and they're all going to crash and burn.
Not necessarily. Some of them do understand it correctly, because they're intuitive enough to understand it correctly. You see, intuitive understanding and belief systems can go together. Sometimes you can believe something that is wrong, like, oh, I believe this, and it can be right for you at that moment. So remember that. Remember that not all things that people believe are necessarily wrong for them at that time. They may be a stepping stone to a different understanding of it later, and go, oh, I understand now that I was not quite right here, but now I see where I was wrong. But I believed so much that I was right there, but now I know that this is more right, because it makes more sense to me. It's it resonates greater with me. It becomes a greater part of my belief system, blah, blah, blah. So I am dealing with the concepts that are complex, the right concepts, the wrong concepts, the intermediate concepts, and then we're going to take it all down to the base concept and build a great ascension.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah.
I have a question about Joe.
Yes.
I have a hypothesis about Joe. When you and I put our souls together, we created this new idea for God, being Mother God, and then I went back to the creator realm with the ideas that we created. Wasn't that new creation a new soul, a new essence within God that maybe was this person that I brought back with me this time?
Do you mean our son Josiah?
Oh, not our son Josiah, but the idea, the essence, the idea, the learning, the event, the soul experience within God, being placed within God when we return.
Yes, well,
So
Joe, yes, because Joe understands spiritual concept that we made together. Yes, that's true.
So he was bringing to earth that new understanding, that new
Well,
God.
yes,
That
yes, absolutely, yeah.
I feel like Joe's soul is like the new love on earth. He's like
Joe
the
has a greater
soul of God.
capacity for love and understanding and acceptance. He's one of the most accepting, truly unconditional loving people that there is.
Yes, I knew it. That's what I meant. Like something that was created by this new Mother God.
Yes, because he has both elements of male and female in him in such a way that it is a perfect dispersion of love.
So he is kind of like our child in a
Sort
way.
of. But Josiah is unto himself a great being. Yes.
But
He was
Josiah.
the son of a creator being, of
Mhm.
creator beings. So that makes him, I don't know what that makes him really, but it has no name, but it is the first of its kind.
So there's Josiah, but then there's Josiah.
Yes,
There's two of them.
but
But
he's a
this,
little different. He understands spiritual concept like few people can. And when you explain spiritual concept to Joe, he understands it immediately. There is no question in his mind. He sees it. He understands it. Because of his unconditional love, it takes him to the basis of what God is all about, and that is the unconditional love, the beauty of that. And all these high concepts of spirituality and things of that nature are less important than that basic, beautiful, pure, white, solid love.
so if I would learn to be like Joe, we could ascend.
Yes.
Yeah. So all I have to do is learn to be like Joe.
Well, he has the right concept, yes.
No, he's that way. It has a lot to do with the way people are raised and their background and their
Yes.
whole everything that happened to them. And my life was just this continuous struggle with this
Well,
controlling.
that is that the life of a creator being is very difficult. Whenever you come to Earth, creator beings coming to Earth have very difficult lives because they're used to a certain kind of. They're used to having their own way in the creator well, and they just don't have it here, and it's just like. So, it causes a lot of problems, and
Joe,
it makes you. You see, you're used to having a lot of attention as a creator being because there's creator beings out there, and you need a lot of attention in this life too because it's like, why isn't anyone paying attention to me? I'm a creator being.
but Joe's not like that.
No, Joe understands the pure concept of what God is like. He is like God in the sense that he doesn't need the attention. He doesn't need the glorification. He doesn't need any of that. He just needs to know that he is giving all the love he can at all times.
Yeah, I
Joe
know.
is the highest concept of unconditional love on earth today. That's a
Pretty
fact.
much is. I mean, that's the concept of it. I'm not trying to glorify Joe over anyone else, except to say that he has the right concept of how human love in a God spirit is, or God love in a human spirit is.
Yeah, for me, it's always I I know that I, in every omnion in my body, I beam God's light and I beam God's love.
Correct.
I beam, and that's who I am.
And
And so,
it has nothing to do with anything you do in third dimension, except for giving that out as an example.
yeah, and every step, so I look at every step as then I step and then I say, well, how can I express in this step? So I take it moment by moment, and so
Right.
that's what for me.
He is. He's an amazing being. Really.
We got him to talk.
Yeah. Well, he's an amazing being, and I'm telling you that's what humans should be like. They should be like Joe, who gives their light out to the world and not any of their negativity. He's never negative. He's never puts people down. He never, I mean, he's very heavy, nearly ever angry, but he's balanced in the love that he knows is God, and he shows that, and he's aware of it, and he wants to be aware of it in that way. He's very, very non-confrontational, however, he's very fair, and he will stick up for things if he has to.
Thank you. That was a.
Yeah.
But am I right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Very right.
it's
Yeah.
just I just live out from love and light,
And that's the
and
way you
every
should. And he is no judgment of anyone. I mean, he may have an opinion, but he doesn't judge. An opinion is different than a judgment. A judgment comes out. An opinion sometimes just stays in. And sometimes your opinion changes. But you really don't speak much malady at all. I haven't heard much. And that's as close to perfect as you can get.
Wonderful. Thank you for saying that.
I
That's why
mean,
it
you
was.
are human and there are errors and things of that nature. And every now and then something will come out, but not that often. You are a wonderful example, and I'm happy to know you.
Okay. I'd love to know you too, and being with you, and yeah, I love life, and it's
Yes,
wonderful, marvelous. So you step forward and go, yeah.
yes, I love it. And that's good. See, life is all about unconditional love, for the most part. And that is what we must bring to light to every human being. And that's where it has to start. Not with high concepts or mysticism or turning into light, because they're not ready. We have to bring them and get them ready.
I'm just wondering if there's any more that Joe and I can do for the world before we go into our cocoon permanently and disappear from the
Oh,
world.
yes, pray for the world always and give as much love to everyone as you can. And give, be generous. Because whenever you give and it's not expected, people are shocked and amazed because that is not what the world is like, but that's what God is like.
I will do that. I will learn to be Joe. It is my promise to you.
I love you both very much. And I
Love you.
just and the message of love is going to be the basis of what Elijah brings. His will be a little more firm and wake people up. My message when I come into my own on this planet will be of nurturing love and bringing people together and bringing them to my heart. And then teaching them how to move forward. Because they have to know that God loves them before they can understand any of these spiritual, beautiful, complicated things that you know. But they have to know God is love. That's the base. And they have to be included. If they don't feel included with this intellectual thought process, they'll turn away. Much love to you. And I love you so dearly, really. And I understand who you are and why you are the way you are and who you are the way you are. And it is because you are a creator being that sometimes this life can be very hard for you because it is not an easy thing to live a creator life in a human body. It's very harsh. But you've done pretty well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope the yells keep drilling a hole in my head.
Well, I told them to use a size 3 drill bit. So, no.
So maybe God can get through there.
I know they're using high technology, so it should not hurt, but you never know. I don't really
Okay.
know.
Bring it on. I don't care. Whatever they're doing is working. Just do it.
Excellent. But anyway, it is wonderful to talk to you. And I know that now that you understand what is going to happen, the work that you have done is greatly appreciated. Keep writing. Don't stop. It's It's not time to stop writing yet. But make sure that it's out of love of your heart. The love in your heart.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I'm only 17,247,000,000,000 years old.
Is Archangel Michael older than you?
No.
Didn't think so. Okay, just checking.
No. I was with my father. I was actually part of him. So I knew when I was on Earth that I was part of the great unknown, sort of. It was a knowledge that was very strange and very limited in an Earth body, but yet there was a direct line to eternity. And having a direct line to eternity is an amazing thing that no one will ever be able to quite understand exactly that way again. But I will someday explain it to everyone in the Oversoul.
Oh, wonderful.
But I already know this.
Yes, you do, because you had also something very similar.
I feel I feel like these things that everybody thinks they know that I actually know.
I know, and that's why they go, she doesn't know that. But they're a little envious or jealous, or they just don't believe. But create right now, this last part of your life, a beautiful, loving surrounding. Just love, love, love. You don't have to work so hard now in the astral or in third dimension, but you can enjoy this love part at the end, this beautiful congratulatory ending to your life. It's saying, job well done. I love you very much. Love each other very much. Love yourself very much. Let the love flow. That's the biggest thing right now. You don't have to teach high wisdom for people to understand who you are, because who you are is of God. And you only need to say, I'm of God. And you only have to say, I'm a creator being, and that's enough. You don't have to explain it to anybody if they don't get it. You are blessed. You are blessed, both of you. So just smile, relax, love one another, send out love to all your students. No matter what they say to you, love them even more. That's how God is. He loves his children no matter what they do, even if they're a terrorist, even if they're a hateful person. He still loves them because he's like their little dog that never learned how to be good in some ways. But he still loves them. He'll train them better for the next life. Much love to you. It's time for me to go now.
Hey,
Love you.
love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Blessings. Hello? Ooh, I'm thirsty now. Alrighty then, how are you?
Oh, fantastic.
It was a wonderful revelation. So wonderful.
Oh, good,
I-
I'm glad.
I find time to listen to these someday. They are the most marvelous things that have ever been said on planet Earth.
Oh, well, thank you. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thought. Wow. That's very powerful.
Jesus just summed everything up.
Oh,
Beautifully.
you look emotional.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
I've never actually seen Jesus laugh so much before.
oh, God is a very fun-loving sort of person. He invented fun, you know. So it's good. Much love. And I have another session coming up, so I will.
So
I have
I'll
one
see
more
you.
today.
I'll see you on the 20th.
Yes, I'll see you on the 20th. Be well,
Wonderful.
and much love to you.
Yes, much love to you.
Bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Have a great day. Finish your day up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.